Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. It's your one-stop shop. Everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. I'm Bob Matthews. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a minute of our coverage. Commanders start getting ready today, later today, or they've already done it, depending on when you're actually watching this, to get ready for Week 3 against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are coming to Northwest this Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff at Northwest Stadium. As for Jayden Daniels, here's where we're thinking it's going to go with this knee injury this week. It is, by all accounts, a minor, let's call it a strain, probably a PCL, something like that. They'll put a brace on him. He's going to do a lot of rehab this week. As Dan Quinn said on Monday, he always talks about the return to play. They've got a protocol. You got to hit certain markers. Once you do, you can get back on the field. What I'm hoping is that he doesn't get back on the field this week. I'd say it's about 75% at least right now that he does not get on the field this week. But I think they are going to wait until the very last minute, maybe even warm-ups on Sunday afternoon to decide whether Daniels is going to play or not. Look for that to happen sometime around 11:30 Sunday morning because that's when the list of inactives has to be released. That's when we get them up in the press box. So what's going to happen? They're going to get Marcus Mariota ready to go this week. And really, I think that is the best way to go for a couple of reasons. Number one, Mariota's arguably the best, if not one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. His style of play is also very similar to Jayden, so you can run the entire playbook with him in there. Don't forget, he was a Heisman Trophy winner at one time. Yeah, I know, he's a journeyman backup now, but he was what he was. And again, he's got some talent. So if you've got Mariota sitting there, why not play him? I would rather rest Jayden, get him as close to 100% as you can, either for Week 4 or for sure Week 5 when they have to go to L.A. to play the Chargers. Again, the Raiders, as we said yesterday, they're just an inferior football team to the Commanders. If you watched them on Monday Night Football, Geno Smith threw, I think, 3 interceptions. Yeah, they've got Ashton Genty. He looks like he's going to be a really good running back one day. But right now, he's still getting used to the speed of the NFL. And again, they played Monday night. They played the late game Monday night. Now they're having to come all the way across the country for a 1 o'clock kickoff, which is 9 a.m. their time. All of the headwinds are against them right now. Why chance Jayden getting hurt even worse and turning a knee sprain or strain into something a lot worse than that? Again, it just makes sense. But we know Jayden's a competitor, and he's going to be pushing to go out there, so we'll just have to see. So our first look at the Raiders, we will be doing this throughout the week. Yeah, I know Pete Carroll has bought a lot of energy as the head coach there. I started looking at the Raiders on the All-22 film, and the biggest thing that jumps out at you, at least first, it's when looking at the Raiders' defense, obviously. I know this is not, earth-shattering news here, but Max Crosby, and what a start to the season for Josh Connerly Jr., the Commanders' rookie starting right tackle. Week 1, he had the Giants' three-headed monster. Last week, Micah Parsons, and now Crosby. The good thing about that is we've been talking about, baptism by fire. After this week, Connerly gets a huge break. This is the last time he's going to face a top 20, 25 edge rusher here for about 7 or 8 weeks. So I think things, regardless of what happens this week, don't panic about the offensive line because I think things are really going to start to stabilize after this week. But that's another reason to let Marcus Mariota get the start this week. Why put Jayden out there again against a top 15 edge rusher? It just doesn't make any sense. And Crosby was just so good against the Chargers. I saw the same type of play and defense against him that I was seeing against Micah Parsons. He's getting, chipped. He's getting double-teamed, sometimes all three at once. I mean, there were a couple of times I saw him literally get triple-teamed and still make a play. So, obviously, the Commanders are going to have to, figure out a way to mitigate him, especially if Jayden Daniels is in fact able to play. And of course, we are hoping at this point that he's not. I will look more at the Raiders as the week goes on, do a little more film study later today, and have some more for you tomorrow. A couple of transactions for you to know about with Austin Eckler and Dietrich Wise being gone. Commanders have made a couple of moves this week, elevating a couple of guys from the practice squad. So with Eckler and Dietrich Wise going on the IR for the rest of the year, Jalen Holmes and Chris Moore are coming up from the practice squad. They have also signed running back Chase Edmonds. Edmonds, I doubt we'll see him this week. I think they'll go with McNichols, Rodriguez, and of course Bill Merritt, and Merritt's going to be starting. Chris Moore, that's going to be an interesting one. He had a good week one, and this is going to be Jalen Holmes' time to shine. You know, this is an opportunity for him to get out there and show this team that he's got something and help make up, for the loss of Wise. I don't think he literally physically takes up as much space as Wise does, but they got him there for a reason, and, he's got his own set of skills that he can bring to this thing. So, it's time for him. It'll be time for him to ball out here. Probably starting Sunday. I would expect to see him, to see him active and see him get time because, that's what this team wants to do. Wants to rotate in 7, 8 different guys along the offensive line. Everybody has got to do their part. All right. So the question yesterday we asked was, what do you think they should do with Jayden? Should they play him or should they sit him? Shout out at Jim Hope 6094. Sit Jayden. As long as we don't have to see Josh Johnson play, we might be okay with Mariota. Well said, Jim. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that one. And yeah, I just think it makes the most sense. Letting Mariota play. Again, he knows the offense, same style of quarterback. He can run that read option. Maybe not as well as Jayden, but he can run it. We're not talking about a statue sitting back there. He did win that game against the Cowboys last week of the season. So we shall see. All right, that's going to do it for us for today. I tell you what, before we get out of here, though, question of the day today, and give me your opinions on it tomorrow. Is it time to panic yet? Do we hit the panic button or not? Let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. But again, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button, and like the wise man once said, if you're out on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.